The Amazing Digital Circus Episode 5, Untitled, might just be the best thing Glitch ever produced. However, it's really easy to miss a lot of the things within this episode, so that's why in this video I'm going to go over everything you might have missed within the 5th installment of our wacky circus show. Like and subscribe if you enjoy, because only a small percentage of you guys watching actually are, and let's get right into it. Starting off at the beginning of the episode, we have this adventure the cast comes back from. We don't know exactly what it was, but an underwater adventure seems like a good bet. What I wanted to mention here though isn't that. It's that you might have missed Caine fixing Gangle's comedy mask. Gangle looks down at it sadly before Caine snaps his fingers and it comes back together. We've never seen him do this before, so it makes you wonder why that is. Next we have these three talking over each other, Jax, Ragatha, and Gangle. Obviously with them all doing it, it'll be hard to understand what they're saying, so here's exactly what they're all saying. For Jax, he said, "Very much did not enjoy that one in the slightest. If we ever do anything close to that again, I'm getting violent and I'm going to kill Ragatha." For Gangle, she said, I don't really think it brought out the best in me, even if it was mostly because of my mask." Now that one took a long time to get, so if it's one or two words off, don't blame me. As for Ragatha, she said, I'd rather not think back on the state I was in at the time. I ended up saying things I'd normally never say. Okay, side note before I get into this next one, Bubble might be the funniest character in the show. Every one of their lines is comedy gold. Anyways, Caine mentions how he shouldn't leave the other AI running for a prolonged period of time. This one leads back to something we saw in episode 2 where Caine explodes Gummy Goo because he doesn't want to mix up the AI and the humans. There was already a theory that something happened between the humans and the AI, maybe a mix-up, but this is just further evidence with it, and I am intrigued to see where that goes in the future. While there isn't anything to note on the safari adventure, in the next one, the president one, there is something I want to cover. Kinger mentions everyone got a sheet on what their characters do. The only one of these sheets we actually see is Kinger's, so if you didn't want to waste your time reading it, like I did, I'll just read it to you right here. It says, Name, Mr. Kinger. Role, Assistant to the President. Brief, Australia and New Zealand are at war. Motivations, how can we make this not our problem and still benefit? Is there a way to come out of this whole thing with ownership of both Australia and New Zealand? Does kangaroo taste good? Note, no funny business. Do not embarrass the president of this great nation. Angry face emoticon. In case of character breaks, use the zone of contemplation, TM, under the president's desk. Don't worry, a baby headlamp has already been installed. And remember, have fun, smiley face emoticon. As you may notice, there is indeed a baby headlamp there. There's a dog painting and books that say LVII, which are Roman numerals, Frank, Mind Freak, TYUIM, SCKNB, XDDCC, obviously Pomni's name from episode 1, Egg, something that looks like the disassembly drone's face, or maybe it's just an XD, I don't actually know, and Gloinks, which you may remember from episode 1 as well. There's also pictures of Princess Lulalalu, hamburgers, an abstracted person, the circus, the gummy elephants, and Jax behind Pomni. Now onto the anime adventure, where a lot of the stuff from this comes from another show, The Gaslight District. There's what looks to be concept art for it on the board here next to Jax. There's also the eye symbol from the pilot on the chalkboard. I can tell you what the Gaslight District poster says since I do know the language for that. It says Gaslight District reference. Damn it, I got trolled by Glitch for translating this stupid poster. Not much from the stargazing adventure, other than one of the best scenes in the whole show, by the way. Amazing scene here. There is one small thing I wanted to point out. If you notice the moon trying to ask Caine out on a date, this isn't the first time we've seen that she shows interest in him. In episode 1, it was also a joke about how the moon loved him. Not much, and I'm sure a lot of you got that, but I like when stuff like that reappears, so I want to bring it up for those of you who didn't quite catch that. Now onto the intermission where a lot of stuff goes down. Most of it is wacky bullshit and silly references, but there are some actual important blink and you'll miss it things here. One funny reference I wanted to point out is I'm pretty sure Caine does the You Are My Special, which is the intro to JJK Season 2, which means Caine canonically can do a domain expansion. That is a terrifying thought. What's actually important here though is at the end where Jax is running down the hall of doors. There's some mannequins, nothing special, until this frog character. Jax stops at this character's door and just stares at it. Now in the previous scene, the stargazing scene, Ragatha mentions Jax doesn't have any friends anymore, and Jax gets really upset about that. It's not hard to imagine that Jax's friend abstracted. If we take that And connected to this, it's not wrong to assume that this is the character that abstracted that Jax was friends with. Pretty interesting. I'm glad they put that in for people who were actually paying attention. Now, keep that in mind because this is actually connected to the next scene as well, the bar scene. Another one of the best scenes in the show. Jax comes in, looks really depressed, and this is where he starts to show cracks in his facade. If we take into account that he just got reminded of his lost friend, and then during the intermission he saw the door, this is probably why he was upset. Now this next part wasn't actually easy to miss, but it's what a lot of the characters used to do before they came to the circus. Just in case you didn't catch them all though, Zubul was a bartender and a tattoo artist, Pomni was an accountant for a supermarket chain but wanted some more action, so she would visit abandoned places and post it on YouTube. Gangle, as you probably guessed from episode 4, was a manager for a fast food chain, but she was also in community college for graphic design at some point. This isn't in the episode, but in episode 3 we know Kinger was into computer science. As for Ragatha, we learn a lot. She was born into a wealthy family, but her mom was really mean and would yell at and berate her. She got into real estate for some time, and as for Jax, we don't know, because he just makes a Breaking Bad reference. We do find out that no one except Pomni knows about Kinger losing his wife though, so that puts Queenie's abstraction at least before Jax arrived, pretty early in the timeline. Last adventure, the softball game. Everyone has an evil counterpart. And something I didn't notice for some reason until my rewatch is that all the characters' colors are swapped. Like, Ragatha's hair is red and her dress is blue, but evil Ragatha has a red dress and blue hair. Evil Pomni is loud and curses a lot. Evil Ragatha is super evil and cartoonishly mean, kind of like Team Rocket. Kinger's counterpart is a fucking dictator. Evil Jax is quiet and nice, and evil Orbsman is, well, he's just red. And finally there's Bazubul, which is Zubul's counterpart. They're just really stupid. Gangle actually doesn't have one, probably because they already have two personalities. The only two things I want to mention here other than that is that the Gatorade has gummy goo on it because, well, you know, he's a gator. And funny thing here, Jax's maid dress also gives him eyeliner. I don't know why I noticed that. I don't know why I needed to point that out, but now you know it and I know it. And you should be happy that you know it. Buy the Maid Jax plush. We, yes we, as in me and you, are buying this. Also, something I wanted to mention is that Kinger always got the smart authority figure in these situations. He's the teacher in the school adventure, he's the coach in softball, he's the assistant to the president, he's the gentleman with Ragatha, probably supposed to represent a mob boss if I had to guess. Just some cool symbolism I found interesting. Finally, we have this mannequin at the end. No idea who he is or what it means, but it's very clear someone's watching the circus cast. Maybe it's Caine, maybe it's someone new, or maybe it's Dr. Football. Don't know who Dr. Football is? Well, you're in luck, because I actually made a whole video on him right here. He sticks out from the rest of the mannequins, make sure to check that out. I hope you're as excited for this mystery to unfold as I am, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, it really helps, I promise you. That all being said, have a great day, and I'll see y'all in the next one.